Hey, what's up? I'm here to help promote Bob's server, Unfamiliar Shores. He is he has a server that's based on this kind of classic slash end of retail hybrid server of Asheron's Call Emulator. I'm going to start by doing this character creation. I'll make myself smaller. So I'm going to make a UA character. On this server, UA is based on coordination and focus, and it shoots war spells. There's a chance it will shoot war spells on on impact. So I'm going to do mostly coordination to help with my melee D, but I'm going to do some focus, and then I'm going to give my character a little bit. Because I'm making a hardcore character, I can't have too little endurance. Later, I can switch everything around. Let's see. I'll do that. So a lot of things are based in Arcane, which is it's self-based. It's important so there's no creature item magic on this server, so having high arcane is a must for having your buffs, because all your creature buffs are based on arcane skill for activating the gems that you buff with. I need armor skill as a melee, or even as a mage if you want to go armor route. It's either the armor skill you have or the buff of like armor 1, armor 2 up to 6 or 7 or whatever one's higher, that's what your armor level will be at. And you need your armor level to be able to use the armor level of your suit or whatever armor you're wearing. So if you have like a breastplate that's AL 100, but your armor level's only 90, that breastplate will only be level 90 until you raise it up to 91, 92, etc. So it's like you're unlocking the armor level of your suit as you raise it. There's also a benefit to speccing it, that once you get hit in the chest or the arm or the foot, there will be a minor bane that gets applied temporarily to that piece of armor. At some point, I think when your armor level is like over 200, you'll get a major bane temporarily. I can spec that later. Assess gives you a chance to cast a vulnerability spell on a mob or a player, whether it's melee, missile, or magic. We're talking about you get a higher chance to hit something. So this is good if you're into, fighting a higher level mob or a person that has high melee defense. That's good to have. Awareness lets you see hidden chests, which half of they're like partially they're invisible to people without awareness or without high enough awareness, and half of them are locked, half aren't. Awareness also lets you see traps that are in the floor, like pressure plates that will cast war spells at you in dungeons. And you can also use lockpick to disarm said traps. Axe and mace are combined. You get a higher chance to crit using an axe. Bow and crossbow are combined. Dagger has a bleed, like a damage over time level you can implement by hitting somebody. It starts taking away like 10 points or 5 points every few seconds of damage. 5 points of damage every few seconds, and then like 10, and then it will stack to like whatever level your dagger skill is at. Rats also will bleed damage like the dagger skill will. Yeah. And deception has some specific properties. You can get some unique skills, I think, that will taunt. I think you can taunt your enemies, so you can pull aggro with the right technique that you buy from a armor vendor or weaponsmith. You can click a scroll, and it will taunt whatever immediate mobs are in your presence. So if you're hunting with somebody else, you can use a taunt scroll, and it'll pull aggro without having to hit hit a mob. Leadership will just help you gain more XP or give it in a fellowship. Melee. I'm gonna need that. Salvaging you can still do manually, but you get full bags of salvage by completing exploration contracts, by just opening random chests. There's a bunch of different chest content, the hidden chests, the random lock chests. There's no timer on the runed chests. You can open as many rune chests as you want. Spear and staff are combined. Sword has been upgraded for its speed, I believe. No one plays throwing weapons, really. Unarmed combat shoots the spells. Alchemy used with cooking. Appraise can get you deals when you're selling things. It'll automatically give you a better deal selling, a chance at a better deal selling whatever you're selling to a vendor. You can also use a magnifying glass on a whole pack of items to increase the value, so you can end up making more money when you sell them. I think that's it with appraise. Cooking, you can make food. I don't know how necessary fletching is, because you can buy arrows at the marketplace vendor. Life magic, you have heal over time, self, and other spells. Fellowship heal. There's a whole system with menhir rings and leyline amulets and attuning bonuses to certain spells of life and war. That's a little bit more. It can be talked about or researched more in depth. Mana conversion I will need for unarmed combat, because I'll be shooting war spells out of my fists, and so it will be taking my mana. I'm gonna go lockpick. Shield is good, just in case I need to put up a shield when I'm fighting something that hits hard, or if I get a hollow shield. There's loot gen hollow weapons and hollow shields. Hollow shields will magic absorb, like the Aegis. Oh, healing, of course. And then healing. So you can start at Yark, Shushi, or Holtberg for a soft core character, non-player killer, or you can change to PK in the training hall. And so that's how you make your softcore regular character. If you click other, you get spawned into a beach. But here's the basics. You can become a hardcore non-player killer right here. You can ID it. You end up losing... You lose half your experience when you have a PvE death. For the hardcore player killer, I think every time you just lose 30% of your XP to PvP or PvE. I think that's what he was saying. And then there's solo self-found, where you may only equip, use, and sell items that were not handled by other characters. So I think that's... You have to buy it from the vendor, because there's RGN or whatever RNG loot from vendors, or you have to loot it off the corpse. So if anybody gives you anything, it's, it'll say like Oh, you can only use the loot from this, your character's name. Always daylight outdoors, great option to pick, in my opinion. I always like to have one extra text box for all the chatting. Oh, you can do /save UI to save your, so you can get your extra chat boxes. I like to have, my combat chat in the lower area. I guess I'm covering it up in my video. And then /load UI. So you save it as, these are the smart commands or whatever. All right, so this is what we call the beach in the other spawning point. You can become a hardcore non-player killer. You can be... Yeah, if you ID, you'll find out the death penalties. If you just spawn here and you still want to be softcore, or if you die on hardcore and you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to go back to regular style. You can go back to regular. You can go back to softcore and never change back to hardcore. So those are your options. Also, every time you go back here, you can like solidify your template. There's all these template alterations. And you can reset your character and change your skills. You can change your attributes. That's basically it. And there's a town crier to give your random stuff to. So I'm going to choose to be a hardcore player killer character. So this is me going. It's going to spawn me in one of the 3 towns. Shaoxi, Holberg, or Yark. So it's spawning me in Yark, I believe. Oh, no. But easy XP. I'm just going to share this, then go back. Or we can go into the training hall. Oh, this guy's going to fight me? No, maybe not. But I could kill this guy. But there's something broken with the U when you're playing UA. But if you give this guy the welcome letter, you're going to make some XP. Also, there's no XP pass up. There's also this ring to help you run faster and jump further. So there's lever dungeon here. This is Holberg. We got these south, the portals that are 1 through 20. These menhir rings play a role in the mage class. Oh yeah, this is a blank exploration contract. This you can give to any town crier to get a set of quests. But you turn in these contracts and then you get 3 different kill tasks that also have these tiki torch marker things in the said dungeons, which all give you XP. And then when you complete the tasks, you end up getting, I think, Pyreals, experience, maybe not Pyreals, and salvage. And then you get some skulls, I think, that you can turn in for random items. There's loot gen weapons on these guys, too. There's also a lottery with adding salvage to items. Like when you add iron or mahogany or steel to a weapon, or steel to a piece of armor, you can generate and get like bonuses. All right. Well, there's these tethers for dual handing. So dual wielding is innate, so you can always dual wield. There's these techniques where if you wear a shield, see right now I'm vulnerable from the backside of my character. I'll get a specific sneak crit shot behind me, but if I'm wearing this defensive technique in my tinkering slot, Well, so I just gave the exploration contract to the town crier, and he gave me back a exploration contract of things to do, the dungeons I need to go to, based on my level. So I got the Dungeon Gallery Tower, Old Warehouse, Mysterious Tunnels. So this one's near Rithwick. This one's also near Rithwick, so that's maybe a good starting spot. The workaround for not getting in here is to die again and then give your welcome letter back to Yarrick. So we're not doing the Drudge Hideout. Well, no, it's because it's 5 to 30. I'm 3. You'd have to give me 2 levels. Okay. Well, here's a vendor that sells packs. There's spell component pouch for your spell components. There's a gem pouch, which I'll need to buy. There's bonded packs. And, salvage barrel. Yeah, bonded packs are a must-have on all hardcore characters. There's also these quality of life portals. These 2 portals are like arena dungeons that when you die, you don't get vitae, you don't lose buffs, you don't lose anything on your corpse. You just respawn at your life stone, and it doesn't count as a hardcore death. So you can damage test there. And there's these other dungeons in this part of the marketplace. We got a Mosswort dungeon, Hall of Meadows in Ion, and a Dry Reach Tomb Rock dungeon. And then on this other side, that's the northeast side. On the southeast side, we have all the stamp towns, all the stamp dungeons. You just have to read these little posts, and then you can go Nanto and so on. Rithwick's where we need to go. Yanchi, and then up here there's an invisible one to Shaoxi, and there's Yarrick up there. And also marketplace is a safe zone, so you can't be attacked, and the apartment halls is a safe zone. I think the flaw with picking unarmed, which I probably shouldn't have picked unarmed, is you don't spawn with a weapon. And I don't think I can attack with my fist. So here's an example of the exploration markers. And we're in Old Warehouse, which that's one of my contracts. So I need to find one of these markers in the dungeon. This guy has spawned 3 of them. So that cloud means that I found all the markers in the dungeon I needed to. It changes that I don't need to find any more markers. I just need to make 26 kills. And you also get XP for entering the dungeon. So I got to innately dual wield. There's also a specific thing about attacks. If you hit a mid, you're more likely to hit them. There, I just cast a spell. If I hit them high, it's more likely I'm going to crit them, and if I hit them low, it's more likely that I'm going to evade the monster. I also got my Verendi Sense up here. I have exploration mark in it. I got chests in it. What is this? Utility belt shows me the dungeon map. All add-ons with decal. There's jump looting in the server. So I just have to kill 26 of these. It is using some of my mana, so I should be raising my mana and myself. As a hardcore character, you don't want to die, so raising health is great. If you're thinking of going extreme melee, it's not a good idea. You can change your template later. But survivability, making a gimped character for survivability is the way to go. There's also chests of the damned in this server. which are 20-hour looting chests. All chests have really nice loot. And then there's these other chests called Gelodite offerings, which are usually out near towns. There's like one in Crater, Hebane 2, Stonehold, Shaoxi, what have you. There's also traps. I just got hit for 23. He gave me some more health, so I'm not gonna die. So if I was worried about this dredge hitting me more, I'd be attacking low, so I'd be evading more. Yeah, so there's magic traps. That's also another thing with awareness. I would be able to see the traps that are on the ground. I don't have awareness. I could train it next when I level. So here's some random salvage I found in here. I don't need tinkering to apply this to armor. Like, I can apply it to this thing. So this is 58 against slashing. And now it's 70. But I can't wear it till I'm level 8. There's a cap on armor, or what, a tier system where it's level 8, level 15, level 30, level 40, level 50, and so on. And I also got another exploration contract out of that chest, which is on a rolling 12-hour timer. So you can't, it's kind of sets a play limit where you can't do 3 different dungeons in longer than 12 hours. So it kind of implements a break. So since I'm using a piercing weapon, I'm doing piercing damage. Cool thing, if I was a mage, showing there's a chain lightning aspect of this mod of the server. I don't necessarily want them to be hitting my back, though. So here's a trap right here. So if I step on it, it fires that frostbolt at me. But I can use a lockpick on it to disable the trap, because it resets. So here's me trying to disarm the pressure plate. There you go. I think I disarmed it. It says disarmed. So once I kill all of the kills in this contract, I'll get a little notification like I did with the markers being completed. Hopefully these are counting. There we go. So I completed the contract. We ID it. So we can see it says complete. I didn't complete any of the other parts of the contract. But now I can go back to a town crier and I can turn in a partially completed contract. Any town crier. So hand it to him. I got a shekel, which is half a doubloon, which is currency. There's boxes of skulls, which I can open. And I can turn these into the Shushi Casino. Here's my contract that's partially completed. I'll say hi to this guy. Here's a Society Wand of Frost. Looks like it's pierce rended. It's bonded. Bonded because it's Society. He rolled a pierce rend when he got his wand. Here's an Explorer Buckler. It's bonded. I think this guy got all bonded gear. He's going to show me some stuff. He got it. This is bracers. Activation 30 arcane. 15 arcane. Very easily attainable. So every time he dies on death, he doesn't lose any of his gear. This is the ideal. Oh, so there's mutations, like here's plus, no wait, did he tink this? He tinked this one for the +1 melee defense. Yeah, like his wand has a mutation on it. So that's where he got Pierce Rend from. So some of this work from the reward, like this is a work 4. Basically, all full bags come out as work 1, 4, or 8, and I think the loot gen stuff goes up to 10 workmanship. But for salvage, you need work 1 works on up to 3, and work 4 salvage works up to work 6 items. And then you need to get like work 8 salvage to hit items with work 7 to 10. Basically, there's wiggle room. So yeah, the next step would be, let's see if we want to finish these contracts, or if we're sick of it and 12 hours has gone by, you can just hand a new contract in. It'll delete this, and you'll get a new set of tasks to do. Or you can type /hot and you can find out like a hot dungeon that's going on where you get like double XP in. Every time you level, there's also a prompt down here that gives you suggested areas. Here's the infinite buff gems. I need to bump my arcane. You could buy these gems, kind of a random amount of the gems, at the jeweler. Oh, there's also the loot. There's also whispers for where players are. This gem seller is not the infinite use gems, but they're one-time buffs for like half hour. These are really important for doing your first Ulthoi pincer quests. Just getting the acid and pierce helps a lot. The workaround for no item magic, there are these portal recall gems and summon gems and tie gems, and the town gems are very expensive, but you don't need to get those till later. But each of these infinite use gems you can buy from here. And ideally you want to find like a UA mastery gem, and then once you buy them or you find them, you put them in your gem pouch, and the gem pouch is bonded, and you're less likely to lose the gems on death, but you will lose some of your high value items, which could be a gem, or you might keep all your gems. When I die, I'll essentially lose everything I'm wearing, jewelry, unless it's bonded, and my armor, and then I won't lose my weapons if they're bonded. But these are bonded. I also have the mutations I got on these are Skeleton Slayer, Biting Strike, and just Biting Strike. Okay, so this is the Gatekeeper of Bitterness. It's the lever dungeons where you run back and forth. I think there's a few mobs in there, and you can make XP by just running back and forth and pulling levers. This is Xiaoxi, and there's a Lugian selling gems right over here, over there. There's also one in Yark. So there's signs. I've never read these signs before, but this is where you turn in. Okay, so you get society armor, society weapons. So if you get items from these guys, they're like powerful items that decay in 1 hour. Oh yeah, it says at the bottom. So the mid tier is more like ethereal items that vanish in an hour, and the low stakes is society armor and whatnot. And then the high stakes is like you can get a quiddity ingot, or I've gotten I think broken halves, so you can skip parts of quests. So it looks like red skulls are the higher exchange rate. So I got Imnotes, I got a dark shard, I got a Gromny wing, which I can turn into a wing collector to get armor, but it's 35 plus. Let's see if I can get some society armor. I got a little ring, a bracelet of strength. Oh, I got a D-note. That's pretty good. Here's a quickness, blue wasp wing. Here's some bracers. I'm leveling up. Some boots. I got a wand. Got a sword. Some pauldrons. So we're leveling up. I'd have to complete a couple contracts to get this many skulls. Oh, there's a brown rabbit. I don't think you can kill these brown rabbits. That's another thing, right? So this guy's level 9. We could probably totally kill him, I bet. We could get this guy's skull and turn it in. So I want to... I can't hit him, though. That's my problem. But I'm hitting mid, so I have a higher chance of attacking him. But he is... Looks like he's extreme. I killed him. So I get the skull and the money. And then he has to wait 30 seconds to log out. I can turn his skull in and get a buckler. So here's a treasure map. This was found on a level 11 skeleton. And I ID it and I read the map. And then it tells me the map points to the east and a bit south of Arwick. And so my next step would be going to Arwick, which is up here somewhere. Yeah, and then I'd run to the east. I'd find the area. I'd click the map as it slowly hints me towards the area. I'd find the exact spot on the map. It ends up saying, oh, it's a bit to the south and a few steps to the east, and it will actually draw you to like the exact little coordinate. Once you get to the exact spot, the map will say, okay, this is where the treasure is. You'll want to kill all the monsters on the radar, because once you click the map again, it'll draw aggro to everything on your radar and a little outside your radar. Then you'll continue digging, and every time you dig, which is just you just kneeling, yeah, you're like basically doing this in the same spot, and you get more XP every time, and it keeps drawing aggro each time. And then you finally get the chest, and you get like a bunch of XP, and then you have an unlocked chest that's just called treasure chest. And you get a bunch of gems and money, like a bunch of stacks of pyreals. Here's the gelotite chest. It says a frost-kissed relic etched with symbols. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. You click it once every 20 hours. You get a random thing like this portal gem. So there was just a notification, a global notification. Stuff was bouncing off my head. It says Rithwick will be holding a fire sale for the next 20 minutes. So all the vendors in the town will have like triple the items. There would be like triple the amount of salvage. Also, there's salvage for sale in each town. It's tiered kind of high. If it's low work, it's about 10K. If it's mid, it's about 50, 60,000. If it's work 8, it's probably like 100,000, 120. All right, so this is the Shaoxi training academy outpost. We got a Tusker Shrine statue that levels 1 through 20 can get to the Tusker Island. We got all the basic town connections. It's all 1 through 20. Here's a shopkeeper. The shopkeepers have the best sell rates for the tier 1 and tier 2 items, basically. So there's no town network. There is Marai LaSalle portal down here to Red Spire. That's still over here. So this is me with a bunch of money, just buying all the protects. And then I'm going to get the buffs from the mage. And maybe I'll check if I can get a UA Mastery Gem. This is also where you would buy spells, random spells. There's Resurrect. We got a Resurrect spell. I think this only works on softcore. Or softcore NPK. I don't know. I haven't actually ever used the spell. But look at these buffs. This guy casts on me. buy this last Portal Recall spell. I mean the item. I'll buy a couple of these. So these have a certain amount of mana on them. And if I have mana conversion, which I do, it will reduce the amount of mana it costs to activate the gems. And if I want to recharge the gems, I can use a mana stone on the pack and it'll spread it around and give me mana and all that. Here's some techniques. Here's the defensive technique. Here's riposte. Those are the main ones that I find worth it. There's an archer one called Power Shot, but I think you hit harder, but it's more likely that you're gonna miss hitting them. These go to the trinket. The trinket spots. So you can ID these and see what they do. This protects you if you're wearing a shield and I get hit from the back. The shield will protect me, but I now have a attack. Let's see, my damage output is lowered, so I'm safe if drudges are on all sides of me, but I'm going to be doing less damage to those drudges. Riposte, on the other hand, adds a chance for an additional melee attack back at them. If I evade an opponent or a mob, I can get an extra hit on them. I will have increased odds of receiving critical hits. So I'll be more likely to be crit, but I'll get extra attacks in for free. And this skill actually happens automatically if I'm dual wielding. So a lot of things are on 20-hour timers, and each of these apartment halls, there's 5 different sets of them, but they're all part of groupings. So there's a ticket seller here, and they want an L note or 2,500 pyreals, but once every 20 hours you can give them an I note, and they'll say that's not enough, but here you go, here's 2 tickets. Obviously we can use the marketplace to get to the stamp dungeons, which gets you to the starter towns, but here's if we want to go to Kara or Lytlethorpe or Uziz. So this server is interesting because you get old school Arwick. All right, here is my actual character. I'm in my guildmate's apartment. There's no housing in this server except for these apartments. There's 10 bag slots. Using all my gems for all my protections. So these are all my gems are in my pouches, but I'll still be able to lose maybe the highest value ones, like my 13,000 gems, unless I have death items, which I don't really carry. Here's a second gem pouch, which I have my recall gems in, and my Master Mage gem. We didn't get into this, but the spell extractions from shirts and pants you can put them onto a scroll and then throw them on a gem. And then I got level 6s on all my stuff, except for Fire Pro 5 is the one I don't have right now. It's also hollow, so you can get hollow weapons in loot gen. I think you can get them also hollow weapons on vendors. And then you can have cast on strike spells on it. There is one loophole that if there's a extra spell count, if you've already filled up the extra spells up to 3 or whatever max it is, and then you don't already have a cast on strike, you can't put a cast on strike onto the weapon. So you have to make sure to put your cast on strike before you fill up the spell count. And when you do, it doesn't count as a spell. Here's a contract. Here's one I have later level. I got the Phantos Menace, which I was chipping away at. Soldier Nest, Tusker Pits. Here's my Sanctuary Recall scroll. It has infinite uses. It's attuned and bonded, and I'll go to the Sanctuary. Okay, yeah, there's a 30-second cooldown after using it, and it shares that cooldown with every other recall scroll. And then, yeah, so I have a hollow shield that I found loot gen, and it absorbs magic. It's basically like an Aegis shield. I'll lose this. If I'm wearing it when I die, I'll lose it on my corpse. Otherwise, it's just gone forever. So I think I have one more in my chest, but I'm looking to, once I turn 50, or somehow get to Beach Fort, get my own Aegis. Here's some other weapons. I got Drain Stamina as my Cast on Strike spell for a couple of my weapons. You can also get Heal Over Time Self. You can get Drain Health. You can get an Imperil, but Imperil doesn't affect PvP, just PvE. But I guess if you're fighting somebody in a dungeon, you can imperil them, and then the monsters can hit them. I am the monarch of this small guild. I opened my house up to my guild mates. So basically, if they recall to the mansion, they're recalling to my apartment. So this is one of the wings of the Hotel Swank, which also has a portal network, which you can get to by killing the Drudge Robber Baron or other bosses. The Drudge Robber, you have to be level 5 to 30 to kill. That's to get into the Drudge hideout. Okay, there's 32 bosses that drop a portal. I think I've only encountered that one, maybe one other. And then you told me Mount Ingot also has a portal for 30 plus or 31 plus. Crystal Mine Low and Frost Guardian Lair also have portals here. So you can buy this basic armor stuff, 24 doubloons, or this is like a magic absorbing shield. So it's basically a hollow buckler. But it's these two back. This guy gives you weapons for gambling your doubloons. And this guy gives you armor. So here's just an undershirt. A bonded undershirt. Requires max health to be something. As you play the game, you want to end up extracting. We didn't go over spell extractions either. But you want to extract protect spells onto a scroll and then put them onto these gems, and then have these gems in your pouch and have your protects on the gems, essentially low cost gems. So it looks like, I don't know if this was mutated, Crushing Blow, Biting Strike, Bonded Bow, 130 mod. And there's an auction house in this server too, which it's all text based. You list stuff, and the only currency for the auction house is doubloons, or shekels and doubloons. No, doubloons and chronocytes. Here's a claw. Okay, so this is a UA claw, and I can't wield this till I get 325 base, which I think is about level 50. Even then, it's probably not good compared. I mean, it has CB and BS, but it might not be as good as a loot gen with a rend. Treated hyssop. I guess this is for the healing kits. Okay, so you can turn PK or non-PK in softcore settings. So all these augments are in, and then Master of the Fivefold Path, you can get 5 times. So you drain 3 mil experience to boost your magic skill. Any spell damage is increased by 10, or your casting skill. So life and war magic will be both increased by 10. So since you can use this gem 5 times if you buy it 5 times, you can raise your max or your base War and Life 5 times, so 50 plus 50 points. The tricky part about this market is it's not a safe zone. So if you're trying to read through these, yeah, so you can research all these online on the wiki or, on the internet and just read up on them before you come through here. If you have the doubloons saved up and you're thinking about which one you want to buy. So the 2 most notable gems are the envelope that bonds a loot gen weapon, and then also the Echo Fang Prism, which creates a cleave effect. Well, on top of the spear having a cone effect, it's a cone plus cleave. Huh. So does it divide his top end by 3 when this is on it? But it doesn't cleave the second target through the cone effect of his spear. It just cleaves the first hit. So Echo Fang Prism gives cleave to a loot gen weapon, which you can hit up to 3 targets. Every gem you have 2 uses for each of these gems. So this is our tier 3 content for the loot, and you can buy all this armor and all these weapons. And this is a Sunscript Chronocytes vendor, and this is the doubloon vendor, and yeah, this is how, if you're 40 plus, 50 plus, what you'd be starting to buy. Or 80 plus? Okay, 70 plus. So all this gear is bonded. Yeah, you can level the equipment or the armor, and you can get buffs while you're leveling it. Tier 3 content. Every 20 hours, you can spin this wheel. All right, here's another not so lucky. It seems like a bad term to use, but I gained an extra 40% lightning resist to my armor. Yeah, so that's great to up a bane. I mean, a natural resist to lightning. Wait, it was on this one. All right, here's. I feel like it's reverse. Just the text is funny. Not so lucky. You gained 2 extra flat damage, so it's 19 plus 5 instead of just 19 plus 3. Okay, another plus 2 flat damage bonus. I think another plus 2 flat damage bonus. I want plus 1 flat damage bonus. Another plus 2 flat damage bonus. I got an extra 0.05 bow damage modifier. So we got some lotto rolls on the melee weapons. It's the Wandering Swordmaster's the boss. So these cows kill themselves or die and then announce that the boss is coming, which is this level 231. Alright, so it's not always cows, but some type of animal comes and like suicides in front of you to announce that there's a world boss fight. And then they keep coming until you kill the guy. And everybody's getting spammed this message. So the server's kind of pissed right now, maybe. So it looks like you killed the boss. I was afraid of the slasher, so I didn't see the final blow. Oh, okay, so this boss gave a quest flag. It's only boss that has no corpse, and it just gives experience plus the quest flag for some dungeon, a quest dungeon, a quest item. Oh, huh? It's the big guy. You got bandies coming from the back. All right. We got an elite. What level's the elite? Let's see. I can't really. Oh, we at 348. This guy also looks pretty tough. So we got gilded paradoxes. Okay, I'll give this guy. So I hit a level. I got a continuum of contraband. Got more boxes of skulls. 3 chronosites, 3 doubloons. Locked beyond the bounds of time itself. This cache. Okay, so it's a cache I can open. I got a chrono sealed cache, which I just. It's just a larger backpack. Yeah, the continuum of contraband. Kind of a little bit shitty loot for something that difficult. But I mean, I guess you can just fight those guys in Shushi and whatnot.